Bill has been.
Being 5:15, we'll call the Economic Development Committee meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I look for a motion to adopt the agenda, removing number 5. Chad?
Correct. Number 5, discuss have a discussion with Small Business Development Center. I thought they were coming this month. They're actually coming next month. So we're just going to remove them and have that discussion next month.
I'll make a motion, we adopt the agenda, removing item number 5.
Second.
Motion's been made by April, seconded by John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Look for approval for the August 30th, 2022 minutes.
Move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Motion's been made by John Pache, seconded by Hans. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Yeah, we only have just Mark on Zoom right now.
Right now we have Mark, Edith and Bill Bishop indicated that they were going to Zoom in tonight, but I haven't seen them yet. So
Okay, I was just checking for the vote stuff.
correct. It's just Mayor Mark as of yet.
Okay. Moving on to number 4, be consider a new project plan for the downtown riverfront development with SC.
All right, I will kick this off. As you know, we've been working with SC Swiderski for the downtown riverfront development project. We've been working very diligently with the staff and the team over at SC Swiderski. Unfortunately, with the market, the way it changed, the construction costs and then the interest rates, there had to been a change to the project just because of the complexity of the project, the income, and I'm sure you guys are going to go through that. But with us tonight, we have Jackie and Courtney from SC Swiderski to give us a little bit presentation of their new proposal for the downtown riverfront project. So I'm going to switch our laptop. Mayor Mark, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to show it to you because they're going to be showing it on their laptop and I got to switch a screen. So
No problem. Thank you.
but I wanted to kind of get a recording. I just thought of it now. Maybe I'll get the presentation. If you could do that, let's do that. And then I can give you a mouse here. I'd really like the public to kind of see this. Sorry about that. Let's go here. Actually, I'm going to share the screen then. Sorry about that. It is all yours.
Great. Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to share about our proposed changes for the Wolf River site. I'm Jackie McElroy, the Director of Business Development at SC Swiderski, and I'm here with Courtney Wolf. She's our Business Development Manager. So over the 2 years, we've been working closely with Chad, and this is our development team. We've grown over those 2 years. We also have we've also really developed our design team. So over the last 2 years, we've added a lot of people that design buildings, both on the architectural side and structural designers. So with that change, we've been able to create new buildings that we're very excited about. And then as Chad mentioned, over the last couple of years, we've also seen some other changes, unprecedented price increases, and the interest rate on this project alone went up 3% over that 2-year time period. So that is making financing of projects like this very difficult. On other sites, when we have a large number of units, we're able to increase the rent rates because rent rates have also increased along with everything else, and that's been able to make up the difference. But on this site, with only having 44 units on the original plan, we're not able to make up that difference with the rent rates, and we're left with a shortage of about $1 million due to that interest rate change and the prices of the buildings going up. So I think we've come up with a great solution, and we're excited to have Courtney present that to you.
And you can just hit the left arrow And that'll go to the next screen. Yep.
We're proposing a newly designed Eden. It's a 4-story building featuring 3 stories of apartments. There's 98 units with a mix of studio suites, and 1 and 2 bedrooms. We'll have ample parking on the site with ground floor interior parking spaces as well as exterior spaces. Tenant amenities will include a rooftop terrace, a fitness center, community room, conference room, ground level patio, as well as electric car charging stations. And here's a view of the Eden from the Wolf River. We feel this will serve as an iconic building for the city along the beautiful waterfront. As compared to our previous plan, this design is much more in line with what the City of New London imagined at this location. Our in-house designers and drafters allow us the opportunity to provide different material options for all the buildings that we create. The rendering here currently shows traditional siding in a canyon color. There's corrugated metal panels in black and bronze, as well as brick and stone. All of these different materials together add dimension and texture, and they can be customized. In this aerial view, you can see what will be our most popular tenant amenity, the rooftop deck at the main entrance.
Here are some renderings of the interiors of the apartments. They will include full appliance packages and modern finishes. In this building, we will have 12 different floor plan options, and they'll range in size from very small at 400 square feet to 1,200 square feet. This type of building does attract residents, and they're what we call renters by choice. So they're choosing to rent because they're looking for a location, which this has an incredible location. They're looking for those amenities in the building and really good service. So with that, they're choosing those options over square footage. As a result, then we're creating these smaller units, and they're very efficient, but we're offering plenty of community space throughout the building, as Courtney mentioned. So the rent rates that we're offering here will be $1,100 to $2,300.
As with our previous project proposal, all of our rent rates do include heat, water, sewer, cable, and Wi-Fi, in addition to lawn care and snow and trash removal. So our tenants really appreciate that they only receive 1 bill every month for their electricity. They're also going to have access to all those great amenities that I listed earlier.
So the good news about this is that the building is fully designed, and we can still make those exterior finish adjustments that Courtney mentioned. So we can work with staff to pick out what colors you would want on this location. We have the spot saved in our construction schedule for 2023, and we can work with the city on a timeline. So I think it would just be negotiating how we get that utility relocation done and still keep the construction start in 2023. So other benefits of this proposal are it would double the unit count and also the project value on this site. So the tax increment created would be much higher than our original proposal. Also, with the increase in units, we're going to be able to have more people live, work, and play in New London. And it will also widen the type of tenants because of these different unit types that we'll be able to offer here. So that is kind of what we had to present to you today. And then we're here for any questions about this change and to kind of see what you're thinking about it.
All right, so with that said, I'm gonna grab my keyboard back. I'll bring the renderings back up, and I guess what questions you guys have about the project, about the proposal?
I don't have a question. I like it. I
too.
think more is better, and anybody that's got trying to rent in London knows that more is better, and to be able to have that wide variety of price ranges really benefits the city of New London a lot.
One of the things.
I had.
Go ahead, Bill.
I'm sorry. I had a question. Did I hear that there were 12 options?
Right. So within this building, there's 12 different
Wow.
floor plans inside of the building. So there's a wide range of those unit sizes, and even some of the small units have multiple configurations based on where they are in the building. So it's just a lot of great choices. That studio suite that Courtney mentioned, it's much like a studio, but instead of one big room, it has a little part that sticks out so you can close it off with a privacy with a sliding door. So you can have some privacy for your bedroom, but it still can be used as one big room. So lots of different options. And like I said, that will widen the range of tenants living here. And then the 2 bedrooms are more of the traditional layouts.
Oh, absolutely. That sounds amazing, having so many choices that keeps very wide and very array. Thank you.
One comment I was going to make is last night I attended the Outagamie County Housing Forum meeting where the county is really focusing on housing development and where they're going in the future and things. And one of the key points they brought up was having more diversity in your community for different types of housing availability. I honestly don't know how many studio apartments we have in New London. I don't know if we have a lot. So that's interesting to see if that's a new or it's going to be more of a amenity that we don't have in our current housing stock. I honestly don't know that answer, but if we don't have a lot of studio apartments, that's interesting to bring that into our community.
We were really surprised when we did our project in Wausau. The amount of the studios that actually filled up on that site, it was surprising to us. And, we kind of wish we would have done more on that site. So it's just something that you may not know that your community is looking for until you actually bring it.
I would think, for the single people starting out, a studio apartment is perfect because I don't need a bunch of stuff. I just need somewhere to sleep at night. And
Mhm.
it's been brought to our attention before that people want tiny homes. This is the same concept. I don't know. The only question I have is what does it do to changing from the original plan to this plan? Are utility relocate? Is that going to be much more extensive or right around the same as what we were thinking before?
Just looking at this site plan here, I think it's going to be pretty close. I mean, the last utility relocate plan basically just brought the water and sewer to the south a little bit and then ran it through the driveway and parking lot area. Well, this looks like pretty much the same. It just might move the location, kind of looks like it would move it a little bit farther south without having our engineering team specifically look at it yet. But I don't see it being overly difficult just to kind of move everything south a little bit and then draw it in there. But obviously we got to jump through that hoop and
Right. I just
hear it.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was because I don't remember what the original plan was. I mean, as far as the utilities, where they were going to go. And I didn't know if this made it go like all the way around the, property a different way or.
We tried to keep it in line with what we were planning before. And again, I'm not an engineer, but we tried to align it as best as we could.
Yeah,
I
I mean,
really like it. I think this is.
just looking at it, it kind of looked like the last one would have ran right through here, the utility relocate. So it's just moving it south and it'll run through here and then connect. There'll be less lateral connections because now you have one building instead of 8 laterals going to it. Stormwater would be up on, their engineers end to kind of figure that out, but overall.
And it does have the ground level parking instead of underground because we have some soil issues at this site. So you can see it just enters right at ground level and then the apartments are above it. The other nice thing is this building has an elevator in it. So it also services like kind of the empty nester population as well. People downsizing, wanting maintenance-free living. We are seeing people that have second homes want the smaller units as well. They want to keep something up in this area, but smaller, just so they have a place to stay when they're here and they have a second home. So should have a wide range of people living there from, like he said, the very young people starting out to older people as well.
I was just going to ask that. I mean, what do you kind of see with your other units, maybe similar like this, about the mix of people retiring, whereas people coming into the workforce? Is it a good mix, or do you see this being more, entry-level workforce housing? I guess, what are you guys seeing?
It's a pretty good mix. What we found in Wausau, as Courtney mentioned, we didn't do enough studio units there, but it's like half and half. So there were half like young professionals living there, people starting out, but then there were a lot of people that were going to maintenance-free living later in their lives that were downsizing, but they're still very active. So this is an active place to live. They have the community room. They get together and have like the Packer game down there. So it's kind of it's a lifestyle choice. And we're seeing a lot of people make that choice right now.
And a lot of people are working at home still as well. So I think this serves that, just having different areas to gather in, or you can work in your apartment or that kind of thing. So you can live, work, and play all in the same spot. That's kind of our hope.
Dave, Jeff has a question.
I'm just wondering about the parking spaces. Obviously, not everybody's there all the time. We can almost assume 2 cars per unit. I'm wondering how many spaces are provided for the number of units that are there.
Yeah, it averages out to be about 2.72 spots per unit. So I think traditionally many communities require about 1.5 spots per unit. It just depends on your, your city, but I think we're well above usually what's required for parking.
I don't understand the math there. How could it be?
Oh,
two
is it not?
if It's,
Is it not right?
there's 98 units, 2 units,
70 plus
you
88?
you had like almost 200 parking spaces.
Calculator.
158.
70 plus 88?
I think it's 1.7.
Is that?
Oh, is it
We have a
1.7
typo?
instead?
I
That's
think it's
under down.
1.7, not 2.
That
We
was
are
gonna be
still
my-
above the 1.5.
1.5 is pretty average.
Very sorry about that.
I mean, for a studio
I had
apartment,
that
that makes
corrected.
sense that you would just have the one.
Yeah.
I suppose studio suites as well, right?
And I don't know if we can add more. We need to.
That was
I
way
have
more
to look
promotion than
at
we
it. I
meant
don't
to.
think
We
so.
were gonna make an announcement after.
I think it definitely fills a void.
Yeah.
I mean, that was an eyesore years ago and it got tore down. It's kind of been just missing something. I think this is.
I love the
It's-
new look. I think
looks
it's
really
super
nice.
modern.
I think it.
This is Mayor Mark. You have a huge difference in apartments and then a wide range of cost. I'm interested in what's the difference in your 2 and 3 bedroom. Do you have different styles and different costs for different 3 bedrooms compared to the cost of that? Like, do you have 3 bedrooms or a 2 bedroom that cost less than other 2 or 3 bedrooms or more? How does that work out?
Yeah, there won't be any 3 bedrooms, but between the sizes, they're all kind of priced by square foot. So the smallest units are going to be the 1,100, and then the largest 2 bedroom that's on a corner that has the most windows, that's the premium price. But I think there's just like 2 or 3 of those in the building that are at the 2,300. So the majority of them are around that. Like I think they're that 15 to 1,700 is the majority of the units, but they're based by priced on square footage.
And again, that does include, cable, Wi-Fi, heat, so that kind of thing.
First, I
So,
thought that was high, but.
Yeah, that is.
You
that's
back it
huge.
out, like, that really
That's
makes
huge.
sense.
yeah.
I think it's great. I love it. I like it better than the last one. I mean, frankly, I'd love to see it go like another 2 stories up. But I understand that you're limited, I would guess by your parking, right?
Yeah.
I guess selfishly, if I were a resident, I think I would want a little bit more, like, I would want that rooftop terrace and the ground level patio to be on the other side of the building.
Next to the river.
Right. I
Yeah.
mean, if I want to spend
Yeah.
time outside, I think I would want to spend the time along the river compared to staring at Wolf River Avenue.
We can certainly look into that. I know there were some preliminary discussions about it, and I don't know if it's a definite no, but we can definitely go back and check. We have an architect on
be,
our team as well, and we can just check
It
with
can,
them.
the building can be flipped, but then you're gonna see the parking lot instead of this from the river. So
Yeah,
if
I
you're
would
open
not-
to
I
that,
think that's
I would not
maybe-
want to do that.
Correct.
That's maybe why the decision was made, but we did consider exactly what you just brought up.
You've got a lot
Definitely.
of balconies overlooking the river.
Yeah.
That's.
No, and there is, you should be able to
There's
walk
green
around the
space there where
whole.
You could put picnic tables so people could sit out there and watch the river from there.
Well, and this is the public trail.
Yeah.
This is still be a
Trail.
public trail. Which we have
I
benches and
definitely-
stuff. up
I
there
agree
anyway.
with what you're
If I-
saying,
yeah, if
Hans.
I
If
wanna
I would
sit
sit on a
outside,
tree,
I
yeah.
want to sit outside, go have my lunch out there.
There's a 200-foot dock within about 40 yards of that. That's the outdoor patio.
I'd like to just make it,
Where?
State Farm. And then right across the river, there's that one.
Well, yeah, okay, so you have to walk across the river to go sit on the dock.
So you'd have to walk about
Oh,
40
yeah.
yards off that corner right there up to State Farm. Berniger, the dock there. And then there are the three fishing platforms that they put in with the cranes right there too. So there's some backdoor
so
areas that are seasonal.
just want to say, I know SC Sersky is a professional outfit. They do their research. I have some rental property in town. We have 14 2-bedrooms and 2 1-bedrooms. The 1-bedrooms have always been hard to rent. They're really hard to rent. This is my own personal experience. And the 2-bedrooms, most people want 3. So I'm not doubting that, you guys know what you're doing, But in my experience, that the one bedrooms are really hard to rent. I'm sure Jeff, being in real estate too, I mean, what do you think about one bedrooms? I mean,
There's a lot of people that
we have a,
really should only have one bedroom because you can't keep two clean, so.
Yeah, I hear ya.
Really, Tim, I understand your point, but two bedrooms, I mean, we have a lot of people. And if they have the second bedroom, they only need one, they're using it for storage or for an office or something, so.
and then I guess my second comment is what kind of guarantee do we have that we won't be strung along for another year and then say, oh, now we're not doing it?
Yeah, and that's why what we see what happens when we were going over years, those changes are unprecedented. So we haven't seen that before. But that's why if we can keep it in the 2023 schedule, there's less margin for things to happen, less time for those things to happen. And so if we can make the plan, move forward with the changes on the developers agreement, we can get locked in on financing as soon as possible. So it can stay in the 2023 schedule. And then that will lower the risk of other things happening in that time period.
So you're saying I'm going to be busy with you guys for the next month?
You
That's
got
good.
2 weeks.
I would think that we would want to expedite this as fast as possible, you know, and have a couple of special planning meetings that maybe on our end. And for the benefit of the developer bringing this great project to do what we can to expedite, follow all the.
So what are we looking for, Chad? Oh, sorry.
I like the overall plan of the building and thought process there, but again, I still have a question about the parking. You're gonna have increased traffic probably on that Pearl Street or Water Street and Woodford Avenue, Pearl Street, Woodford Avenue, in that intersection because of this building now. You know, so long as we don't cramp out the other businesses that are already there. for longevity. What's that?
You're talking about over by longevity?
Longevity, you know, people are starting to look for spots in the park and stuff that you're aware of that.
That's so far away, though. They're parking over by Karen Gething's office. They don't go past that. I go there every morning. To eat.
So this,
Plan is great. I don't think there's any issues with the one bedrooms or the two. Did you
So
say there will be some threes? Or no?
No threes, just up to 2.
Is there an option to do less one bedroom and more two bedroom? Or is that not an option in the budget?
We'd have to redesign the building because of, where the windows are and everything for
Sure.
the bedrooms. So it would push it out a little bit. But one of the things in the research is there's a lot of people that would be renters that you might not know about that are looking for these units, but maybe they're not available. So you probably maybe have more families looking for your type of the units that you have. And that's why they're looking for this larger space. There's a lot of people that you're not capturing as renters right now.
Correct me if I'm wrong, for me, and not no offense, but if you don't rent them, if you build the wrong
Yes,
building.
it's not on
here,
you. So
We still
It's not-
pay the
that's not on
taxes. We
us.
still,
Still pay
it's
taxes,
us.
right.
So you're trusting.
stays in our
that your trust
portfolio
is telling
and-
you this is what you need
Yeah.
for apartments. Our job is to approve the apartments, and if you don't rent them, sorry, you're gonna have to rebuild.
but I think from what we're hearing with the county, the stories that we're hearing for people looking for rental units, we need more housing. We definitely need more housing.
And I definitely like the variety.
I think
mean,
this
I
is gonna
think-
retain and recruit, your students and your college kids who are looking for that one bedroom place to work from home.
Well, I agree wholeheartedly. I believe that would help with the Tysons in the area, the Amcors in the area. Maybe it's the starting out position, but I really think that would help out with them, being confident that there's enough workforce in the area, and maybe even, look at building on in a day, adding on to their business again.
I have a question, are pets allowed?
Yes.
We get that a lot where I can't find a place because of my cat or can't find a place because of my dog.
Mhm. Yeah, we have weight restrictions for dogs, but yes. they're allowed.
there's a little pet washing station in the parking area of this building too.
You said that there's one elevator
Yes, I
Yeah.
think this one just has one.
Yeah.
And I think there's 3 staircases, 3 stairs and 1
I think that
elevator.
elevator is going to get a workout.
Hey, it's healthy to take the stairs, right?
That's fine, but if we assume that a fair number of these residents are going to be empty nesters, they're going to be using the elevator.
And people hauling groceries and everything
Yeah.
else, they're going to be using elevators and they're going to be looking for carts.
I think it's
Won't be the place that they
an
live.
expectation in the 21st century. I just do.
EMS is going to need that elevator too.
Mhm.
EMS.
Oh, yes, yes.
All right, so what do you need from us, Chad, with this, do on,
Blessing or?
Yes, I would like the committee to make a recommendation to council to make sure that the council is comfortable with this pivot for this plan, because I don't want to work on the developers agreement and do all that research and all that negotiations and such, working with our engineer, if ultimately the council doesn't like this concept. So I would appreciate if the committee would make a recommendation to council to consider the new concept for the downtown riverfront project.
I'll make a motion. Move forward with the new project plan for the downtown riverfront development. See Swiderski as presented tonight. Continue that movement forward and to do that in a timely manner.
I'll second that. Motion's been made by Mr. Shea, seconded by Mr. Haas. All those in favor?
I,
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
One no?
Yeah,
Right.
me.
I'll join with you. I know how it is to be
Cool.
Motion carried.
Motion carried.
On to number 6. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Report on the first annual Wisconsin Economic Summit sponsored by WEDC.
Give me 1 second. I just want to remove the drive here.
Okay. Eject.
Thank you.
Thanks again, guys.
All right, so I and April Kapitsky, we both attended the first annual Wisconsin Economic Summit. It was in Appleton, so very convenient for us. This was put on by the Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation. It was a afternoon session and a morning session. It was surrounding around the topic of the economic development in Wisconsin. So the first day targeted quite a bit more of current stories. One thing that, maybe in the future, it was a lot of panels. So it was a lot of just groups up there talking about stories and stuff like that, which was good, but I wish it would have had a little bit more take-home information, statistical things, but it was a really good snapshot of where the state is with a bunch of stories of, what the municipal governments feel and what April, I'm kind of drawing a blank. What were the other summit?
First day?
Yeah, the first day.
How they made it through COVID, how the mayor's panel really stuck out to me.
Yep.
Small businesses.
Mhm.
Developing. I wish I would have been there for the second day because it was
Yep.
kind of like, where do we go from here?
Correct. So day one was stories about what has happened in the past. Day two was where we're going with things. So it was really kind of interesting to see technology and where we are on a national platform and an international platform and things. So really interesting. I think they're going to improve on that in the future with a lot of feedback from the rest of the people. Well attended. There was quite a few people there, but really interesting on where the state is moving forward with things. So another just
Different
educational piece.
stories, but Chad and I talked about like what our takeaways were, and everything kind of came back to how well you sell your community and how loud you are about it.
Yep. Housing was a big one again. Housing was a big topic, selling your community, things like that. So, and this was one of we are required because we are a We are connect communities through WEDC, and we are required to participate in so many trainings and so many different activities with WEDC. So this was one of those things that fulfill that requirement. We'll have to do another one yet by the end of our cycle, but pretty good. So
Thanks, Jed. Yeah, I forgot. There's somebody who have a van.
A maroon van has their lights on.
That's Johnny.
Okay,
John, your lights are on.
your battery's probably dead.
Oh, there's good for a few minutes.
Hey Chad, back on the Seversky project,
yeah,
are we gonna have to rebid out that utility relocation?
correct. It will have to be redesigned to fit the new locations and then rebid. So and we'll have to figure that out with our engineers to see how soon we could get that out there. And I wouldn't want to award a contract until the developer's agreement is signed. I don't want to spend any money in construction until that developer's agreement is signed. So we'll have to work on that diligently.
All right, thanks.
Mhm.
All right, moving on to updates and reports, business updates. April?
I have a couple updates for you. Macaport and Touch and Tan are in the same building over on the north side of New London. We found out the building has sold. Nothing is public about the purchase yet, but we are finding a new spot for Macaport. Macaport is a new business that just went in. He does screen printing and he's growing rapidly and we don't want to see him leave. So right now we're trying to house him in a 4,000 square foot building that has a loading dock. So if you guys have any ideas for me, definitely want to keep him in New London. Right now, we're talking to the former Family Video. They have an overhead door and they're willing to install a loading dock. So we're going to see if that will work. Touch and Tan announced on Facebook, though, that they'll be closing at the end of this year after 7 years in business. We have a new business opening on Friday, 311 South Pearl Street. That's the old candy store, Cozy and Sweet. Fiesta de Fruit. It is a party fruit store. Not sure exactly what that looks like, but definitely stop in and support them. Check it out. And then just an update on Zero's Cafe and Catering. It looks like they are hiring right now and they will open as soon as they have a staff, and that is in the former Buc-ee's location. Any questions?
Okay, thank you, April. City Administrator report, Chad?
On Thursday, April 22nd, last week, April and I held a business meet and greet with staff from Northland Electric and EJ Metals, number one Northland Electric. They're busy, they're full staff. I mean, that's one of the first ones we've heard that they are full staff and they're doing well. And it was really interesting. At the end of the conversation, they asked what they could do for us. And it was supposed to be the other way around. So, I mean, they're doing their thing and doing great. EJ Metals has some things going on. I don't want to reveal what that is, but it was really kind of interesting because I've never been in there before, and to see what they're making out of the products, the fire trucks and the rescue vehicles. It was really interesting to see that that's in New London.
All over the world. I always knew they worked with the fire department, but just to see like the different vehicles that they're shipping to Israel and all over the place that's coming out of New London was fascinating.
Correct. And there's some potential that they're going to be working hard in the future. So
Their pump systems, it's a high pressure, low volume pump system. It's like what we got on the brush truck. They build that and they'll install it on a vehicle. And like, he's been shipping them ever since he started business all over the place.
Yep.
This is more cost effective to go through him. That's how I understood it. Like Pierce Manufacturing contracts with them because it's more cost.
he says it's a high pressure and it dilutes
He's
it
the only one
more.
that built that pump system.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So he can have a smaller tank to go out and do, what did he say? A small tank could take care of a car fire or a dumpster fire instead of massive amount of waters, minimal amount of water, but great efficiency with this system. Then he's got some patents on some hose or some nozzles and stuff too. So,
Yeah, it atomizes the water.
yep.
So you got smaller water droplets that,
Like to take the nozzle and turn it and it sprays different.
yeah, there's 3 different settings on the nozzle that you can turn. And there's one that, you can blow a hole right in the wall of somebody's house with it. It's an awesome unit.
Awesome tour.
Yeah, it was great. So, so hopefully we see continued success from both of those employers and businesses. And then I talked about before, affordable housing is the buzzword statewide. I mean, the last couple conferences and trainings I've gone to, it keeps on affordable housing, workforce housing, things like that. One point I want to kind of make that I've been hearing, especially reinforced last night, affordable housing is not low income housing. Affordable housing is considered 30% of your gross income. So depending on if you're making $100,000, $25,000 a year, affordable housing is considered 30% of your income. So you have to look at your community and kind of get a good gauge on what the affordable or what the income levels are in that community, and work on affordable housing in that community. So they keep on encouraging communities to look at affordable housing. So and one thing with that, I attended that Outagamie County Housing Forum meeting last night, but Outagamie County also is working with us, invited us and the city of Seymour to work with UW-Madison and students down in Madison. They're going to do a school project for rural communities to help us give ideas for zoning and zoning changes to really help encourage affordable housing. There's a lot of ideas to have smaller setbacks, have single family, zero line setbacks. So you have townhouses that you basically have them butt up to each other, and they have zero line setbacks to each other. There's a lot of new things coming up to really encourage affordable housing, to encourage more density on a lot that makes it more attractive for developers to develop. So we'll be working with the county on that, because they kind of asked us to be a part of this project with UW-Madison students, which was really kind of cool that they're going to be doing a project for us. So we'll be working on that in the future as well. That's all I got.
When Northland Electric said, is there anything we can do for you? Did they explain what they meant by that question? I mean,
I feel like they were very, very busy and they didn't have time to sit and talk with us. They're like, we're fully staffed. We can't get our supplies in almost 80 weeks. Sometimes we need to get back to work. What do you need from us? Kind of conversation.
Yep.
It was very different from any other, usually people are like, how do we get employees? But they're like, we have 120 employees. We are fine. Get out of our hair.
In a nice way.
Unless you can get my supplies here
Yeah.
faster.
Yep.
So did we ask them, what are they doing to get employees in?
We
Everybody
did.
else is
We
not?
absolutely did. Yep, they're competitive pay. A lot of their employees don't even come to the facility. They go straight to the job. They're very flexible scheduling.
They got employees from Milwaukee all the way up to Door County. And they said a lot of them, was it 3 years? Some of those
Yep,
haven't even been in the office. They're just out in the site and they just deliver everything to whatever the job site is for that. So flexibility.
Their facility was like spotless.
Oh.
Clean, beautiful.
Clean, organized, labeled, just, yeah, they got it going on there. So successful story for New London by far.
Hey, review potential agenda items for future meetings.
So we will put on a future agenda. I thought we were going to have more discussion tonight with the Small Business Development Center, but sometime in the future, we'll talk about the facade improvement program for North Water Street. So we'll keep that in our forefront. And then I'm still working with, I'll give you guys an update on that. Just after this agenda went out, the company I've been working with contacted me and they said, well, after really looking into it, they felt that to give us a really good estimate, they were going to have to do a bunch of survey work to figure out what a good estimate would be. And they wanted to charge us $500 for that. And I emailed them back. I'm like, I don't think we're into that. Can you give me a ballpark? Are we talking about 20,000, 200,000, 2 million? At least to give us an idea of what range we're talking about. And then if we feel like if it's feasible for a digital sign, then maybe we can do this survey. But I didn't want to do the survey and all of a sudden they come back, well, it's a $10 million project. I'm like, well, you could have told us that from the start and we could have saved time and effort and things like that. So I haven't heard anything back from the rep yet. So if I have more information, I'll provide that at the next meeting.
Moving on to public comment.
The only thing I got is, Chad, there's an ordinance against zero lot lines in the London, correct? right now?
I believe so. Without looking at this, I don't have the zoning obviously memorized, but I believe there's setback requirements for single family housing. So that's one of the things that they've been talking about is, creating zoning to allow zero line setbacks for like townhouses and rows and things like that. So
It's kind of like a condominium, except there's no common elements to it. You don't have the condo contract. So basically, you've got like the duplexes on my subdivision out there. Everybody owns their half. You don't pay rent on it. If that was allowed out there,
Mhm.
and that's what that builder was looking at. He found out he couldn't do it out there. So that would be just another advantage because people would rather do that than have to deal with documents, all that stuff all the time.
exactly. So
And again, I just keep thinking about that parking with that apartment building over there, increased traffic and that. Sure, it'd be nice if we could take one of the buildings down on that corner and go for Avenue and Pearl Street. Be able to see it a little bit better sometime, something for the future.
Yep.
This is kind of a bugger to get around the corner if you're going south on Pearl Street. No. Across the street. Press stars. John would be out of business getting up right in the middle shop.
Give it a few years, it'll fall apart. You just rent it.
That's all I got.
But to your point, this is the slide deck from last night. They talked about different options that probably a lot of us, our zoning code doesn't really allow right now. Single family attached. So like I said, the zero setback lot lines in between these houses, garden apartments, cottage clusters. Evidently they're smaller units, but then they've got a common, area in the middle for everyone. Accessory dwellings. They were talking about, mother-in-law suites, father-in-law suites. I mean, the retired population, if they want to, live on your property, then the accessory dwelling units are becoming popular. And duplexes, obviously, we offer right now, but these are some examples they were talking about to how, we need to encourage a wider variety of housing types to address changing demographic needs.
Now, would that be what the university students, is that same project that they would be working on? Okay.
So I foresee them giving us ideas, especially in a rural setting, maybe compared to an urban setting. Is there different things to kind of consider? But eventually, I see that as information that we can use. We need a major zoning update. We've talked about this in the past. I mean, just for fencing and things like that, we need a major zoning change upgrade. So, and that's something we're gonna have to hire a consultant for. I'm hearing more and more, you hire a consultant because there's so many regulations with the state and, type of things that you won't want to, try to do that. And we don't have time and, with our staff to do it anyway. But we need to do that to address and maybe encourage some of these type of things to help encourage some growth in New London and different options. And like I said, the trying to become more diversified in our housing stock is attractive. And with that said, they recorded the forum meeting last night. I'm going to get a copy of that and I want to send it to the council. I'll send it to the Economic Development Committee. And I want our planning commission to get the hold of that too and watch that presentation because it was very good.
Fabulous, thank you.
Some places have minimum parking requirements for developments. Do we have anything like that?
I don't have that memorized. I'm guessing we have something in that
Seems like it
realm.
would be something that SCS should know about
Mhm.
for their project now that they're more than doubling the amount of units there.
Yep. Not being a zoning administrator, I don't have that information in my head. But I mean, there's a lot to zoning. So, but something we'll definitely look at. When they give us a site plan, then Dave has to go through all those check boxes and make sure they conform with our zoning code. So.
All right, review the next meeting date.
October 25th, because that's the date that we're having the Small Business Development Center team come to the meeting. So 25th at 5:15.
The motion to adjourn. By April, second by John. All those in favor? Opposed?
Aye.
Aye.